I need you to understand something before I tell you this. The scariest part of that week wasn't the man. It was realizing he had been standing close enough to touch me for 3 days, and I never knew. Because he wasn't hiding in the house. He was hiding inside the walls of it. My name doesn't matter. What matters is this. If you're ever offered a job that pays too much for doing almost nothing, ask why. Because I didn't, and I almost didn't make it out of that house alive. I was 22 and $300 short on rent. That's the whole reason any of this happened. I'd been refreshing one of those gig apps for a week, dog walking, cleaning, anything, when the listing showed up at 1 a.m. House sitter needed, 1 week, quiet lake property, $1,200. Must love dogs, start immediately. $1,200 for a week of sleeping in someone else's house and feeding a dog. I actually laughed out loud in my empty apartment, like I'd won something. The owner was a man named Gerald. We never spoke on the phone, only messages, short ones. He said he traveled for work and his usual sitter had fallen through. He'd leave a key under a planter and cash on the counter. I should have noticed he never asked for my name, my ID, anything. People who let a stranger into their home usually ask questions. He didn't ask a single one. The house was 90 minutes out of the city, the last 20 on a dirt road with no signal. When my phone dropped to SOS only, something in my stomach tightened. But then the trees opened up, and there it was, a beautiful lake house. It looked safe. It wasn't. There was a note on the counter. Most of it was normal. Feed bear twice a day, trash goes out Thursday, use the bottled water. And then the last line, underlined twice. Do not open the door at the end of the upstairs hall. It is just storage. It stays locked. Do not go in for any reason. I told myself everyone has a junk room they're embarrassed about. I told myself a lot of things that week. Bear was a huge old German shepherd, sweet, gray around the muzzle. The second I walked in, he pressed against my legs and wouldn't leave my side. I thought he was just friendly. Now, I think he was guarding me. That first night, I slept fine. Remember that, because it's the last time I did. It started small, the kind of small you can explain away. Day 2, I made a sandwich, ate half, and left the rest on a plate. When I came back, the plate was clean, not eaten, washed, sitting in the drying rack. I decided I must have done it myself. You do that, right? You tidy up without thinking? That night, I heard the floor creak above me. Old houses settle. That's what I told myself. Day 3 is when I couldn't lie anymore. 3 of my water bottles were gone. The granola box, open. I live alone. I know exactly how much food I have. I counted it twice. And Bear had started doing something new. He'd plant himself in that upstairs hallway in front of the locked door and growl. Not bark, growl at the wall beside the door. Like something on the other side was staring back. That evening, I found the meal. I went into the basement to find the breaker box, and on a workbench in the corner, there was a paper plate. Chicken bones, picked completely clean, a fork, a half-empty bottle of my water, and tucked underneath, a sleeping bag, a pillow with a dent in it, like someone had just been lying there, a charger plugged in, charging a phone that wasn't mine. I'd never felt it before, and I've never felt it since. The feeling of your body understanding something a full second before your brain catches up. I was already backing toward the stairs before I finished the thought. Someone is living in this house. Someone has been living here the whole time. With me. I did the thing you're not supposed to do. I had to be sure I wasn't losing my mind. It wasn't a storage room. It had been lived in. A mattress on the floor, a water-stained notebook, and one section of the wall didn't sit flush. I pushed it and it swung inward into blackness. A crawl space running behind the walls of the entire upper floor, with little holes drilled at eye level, looking into the bedroom, the bathroom. The notebook had dates, times I woke up, times I showered. The last entry was from that afternoon. It said, "She found the basement tonight." And then every light in the house went out at once. Not flickered, out. I grabbed Bear and ran for the front door, and it wouldn't open, dead-bolted, from the inside. He'd locked us in, and then I heard him. Not running, walking, slow, calm footsteps coming up from the basement, like he had all the time in the world. We went out through the laundry window. I threw Bear out first and went after him, and I felt a hand close around my ankle. I kicked back as hard as I have ever done anything, and then we were running into the dark trees. I called 911 from a ditch, soaking wet, whispering the address because I was sure he was still behind me. The police went to the house. There was no Gerald. The man living in the walls had no connection to the place at all. The real owners had been in assisted living for 2 years. He had simply moved in, posted a fake listing, and collected sitters. They found 3 other notebooks in that crawl space, 3 other names. The 3rd notebook was new. The 3rd notebook was mine. The detective told me something I think about every night. He said the dent in that pillow was still warm when they searched it. He'd been there the whole time, 3 feet away, on the other side of the wall, watching me through a hole the size of a coin. So here's my question for you. In your house, right now, do you actually know what's behind every wall? Every door you've never opened? Because you know what's in there? Are you sure? If this one got under your skin, subscribe. I have 3 more like it, and the next one happened to someone who did check and found out too late.